Welcome to my garden. Hey, my name's Georgia. Welcome to my house. I'd love to give you guys some tips on how to look after many a plant in a very small place, particularly here in Melbourne where it's not quite the perfect place for tropical plants. So I've got this amazing begonia. This was a cutting last year. The cutting was this beautiful length, and then in 1 year's time, look at that growth. These are my favorite little things to make ever. Whenever I have a plant which is looking really sad and I'm getting scared that I'm losing control, I'll kokedama it. It just changes your perspective and makes you kind of more attentive to those varieties that you're really trying to look after. Here's our beautiful upstairs. We have some more Kentia magic. This little tricolour stramanthian here as well, who looks really beautiful from underneath. These are two prayer plants, as you can see. Same, they're cousins, definitely in the same family as we can see, but I love the way this placement kind of just pulls your eye down with the red and the red. These guys are super hard to grow because their little leaves curl in when they get sad and dehydrated. They love the humidity, so I like to just, while I'm watering them, I'll give them a little drink and I'll leave a cup of water literally underneath there for them, like a little peace offering to my plant god. And what it does is as the water evaporates, it actually gets trapped underneath these leaves and it increases that humidity. Another trick you can do is just by getting some stones, putting them in a tray, adding water to that, and then placing your plants on top. Now with this approach, unlike humidifiers, you have to move your sort of watering equipment around. A humidifier is a great way. Just watch if you're going to be using essential oils, because not all plants like all of the essential oils that you guys might be using out there. Sometimes from the nursery you get this, and all this is just straight up peat moss. It is no soil, no nothing, just coconut fibery moss yuck. The reason it's bad is because when you let this dry out, it actually goes hydrophobic. So you might notice sometimes when you water your plants, it feels like you're just watering straight through the pot. It's not actually getting the roots. That's because this particular substrate goes hydrophobic. So that's why sometimes if you're like watering your plants, they'll start to look sad, and even though you're watering them, they still feel like they're getting worse, and you might think, oh, now I've overwatered it. Most likely you haven't. Most likely you actually need to like feed it more, because the actual root ball isn't getting the water, it's just going around the outside. Fixing that is hard. Repotting's a great one, but repot in spring if you can. Or you can get a little stake and just move in there and get that water and that air back into that root ball. If you put little holes in there to let air in, once that water penetrates it, it's going to absorb more evenly straight away, as opposed to just running off and taking the soil and the nutrients with it. All right, I think we'll go to the bathroom first. Let's check out what we have growing in here. Everyone always says bathroom, chuck it in the bathroom if you're having problems with it. Again, it's a humidity thing. When you're showering, or if you're in a share house like me, 12 people a day, lots and lots of hot water, they're loving it. I have my beautiful smelly little orchid in here. When your orchid stops flowering, don't take the flower spikes off. They will actually reflower from that spike if you keep it healthy enough. I got 2 blooms this year out of this. And then these guys are notorious for not doing anything. They'll go dormant, no flowers, nothing for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, you'll have like 2-3 years in a row of executive flowering. Welcome to my light-filled bedroom, because I've got this beautiful, beautiful, expensive, precious dude. But look at this. Oh, sad leafage. All right, so let's do some diagnosis. I had him in the bathroom. We know it's too drafty, too cold. And I had him in this room. We know southeast facing, dark, not enough light. So that's why I'm starting to get these obvious markings on the leaves. So what I'm gonna do is really quickly show you the easiest way I take off these sort of leaves. So as you can see, everywhere a leaf grows is a node will have a root. When the roots are out in the air like this, they're called aerial roots. When we look here, all I'm gonna do to take off this leaf is just gently with my fingers pull it off at the base. And as you can see, there's like a seam where it wants to break off completely. But what that means is that little protective callus that it's left will heal over, and then it will protect the actual trunk of the plant from any sort of damage. Oh my gosh, so look at this growth. This is a lithope, they're from South Africa. These are the craziest plants, they're called living stones. You do not water them. With all succulents and cactus, just do a bit of research of where that plant actually came from, and then you can get a better idea about how you're going to look after it, or I guess enact those conditions in your own home. The thing is with growing plants, and what you begin to learn is that it's hard work growing them indoors all the time. What I like to do is, when the weather permits me, try and get them outside. Let's harden them up, let's get them tolerant. As you can see, I've got this rubber plant, beautiful indoor, outside. Cymbidium orchid, beautiful as an indoor, we've got her outside. Another thing is, and I'll show you downstairs, is microclimates outside really help tropical plants grow. As we saw with the humidity trick inside, when you have lots of foliage planted or just placed on top of each other, you might actually find you can grow things outside in Melbourne that you didn't think you could. Are you guys ready? Ah, the big review. This is my greenhouse. This is plant collector's dream and nightmare. So these particular varieties, unlike the other sort of indoors I have, I keep in here because, honestly, it's because I've killed them before in the house. This is my nursery, this is my sanctuary, these are my babes. If you're gonna level up and try and grow your plants outside but inside a greenhouse, there are a few tricks you can do to make it easier for yourself. All right, so one of them is to bring your precious plants forward. Realistically, it's like damage control. If I lost these, I'd be sad. So I'm straight away do you need help touching them all? No, they're all good. The second part of that, the other way, is to then group them in their requirements. For example, these guys like it really humid. So that means that when I come in, I check them, and I like to know that these ones all stay on that damper side. Over here, I've got my ferns, and at the back, I've got a bat plant. This guy's really cool. That's called an Amuse nest fern. I actually cheat, and I put them in these trays, and I moss the trays. Whenever I need a plant for a kokedama or a job or a gift, I can come and I know that they're growing in what is the closest to the natural environment I could have created for them. And that way I know I'm optimizing their potential. Thank you so much for coming around my house with me, coming to see my indoors and my outdoors. I just want to wish you guys good luck. Be brave. It's a process. It's a learning experience. You've got nothing to lose. Just get out there and start growing.